I want to start today by asking you a simple question. What does wealth mean to you? For some, it's a number. For others, it's freedom. But the truth is, wealth isn't just about money. Wealth is about options. It's about time. It's about the ability to say yes to what matters and no to what doesn't. And here's the best part. You can start building that kind of wealth at any age. Yes, today, right now, regardless of how much is in your account. So today, I want to share with you 7 money rules that changed my life. Not overnight, not with some secret formula, but over time with intention, with discipline, and most importantly, with purpose. Let's begin. Every dollar you spend is a vote for the kind of life you want. And yet we often spend to impress, to fit in, or to feel better temporarily. But spending under pressure is reactive. It's emotional. Purposeful spending, on the other hand, is strategic. Buy what adds value, not what adds clutter. Ask yourself, will this bring me closer to the life I want or distract me from it? Every dollar we spend tells a story. It's a reflection of what we value, how we feel, and the decisions we make consciously or unconsciously. Too often our spending is driven not by clarity or long-term thinking, but by emotion, impulse, or social pressure. This kind of emotional spending is subtle. It sneaks into our lives disguised as rewards, distractions, or temporary comforts. We tell ourselves, I've had a long day, I deserve this, or everyone else is doing it, so I should too. And in the moment, it feels good, but over time, this kind of spending creates a pattern, a life built on reaction rather than intention. The truth is, money is never just about money. It's about what it allows us to do, how it shapes our choices, and how it impacts our sense of control. Emotional spending takes that control away. It's the act of letting our short-term feelings hijack our long-term goals. It's reacting instead of reflecting. And while it might offer temporary relief or excitement, it often leads to longer-term dissatisfaction, regret, stress, even shame. Purposeful spending, on the other hand, is completely different. It's not about deprivation or being frugal just for the sake of it. It's about alignment. It means spending your money on the things that matter most to you and cutting back on the things that don't. It's about taking the time to ask, what do I really need? What will actually improve the quality of my life? Is this purchase moving me closer to the life I want or further from it? When we start spending with purpose, money becomes a tool, not a trap. We gain a sense of clarity and direction. Decisions become simpler. We stop chasing trends and start honoring our own values. For example, someone who values experiences over possessions might spend less on clothes and gadgets and more on travel or meaningful time with loved ones. Someone focused on building a business or achieving financial independence might skip luxury purchases today in order to invest in their future. In both cases, there's no right or wrong, just alignment. And that's the power of purposeful spending. One of the most liberating realizations is that we don't have to say yes to everything. We don't have to keep up with anyone else's lifestyle. We only need to be honest with ourselves about what's truly important. Because when your spending aligns with your values, there's no guilt, there's no regret. There's just peace. This doesn't mean you never spend on fun or indulgence. It means even those moments are intentional. It's the difference between mindlessly buying something to fill a void versus consciously choosing a treat because it brings genuine joy. Intentional spending still allows for spontaneity. It just asks that you stay awake to the why behind it. Over time, purposeful spending leads to something even more powerful than financial savings. It leads to self-respect. You start trusting yourself with money. You start making choices you're proud of. And the results compound, not just in your bank account, but in your sense of confidence, freedom, and direction. So if you want to take control of your money, your first step isn't a new budget app or financial tool. It's a shift in mindset. Ask yourself, is this emotional spending or purposeful spending? That one question can change everything. Because when your money serves your purpose, your life starts to reflect it. We often don't think about saving until we're forced to. A car breaks down, a job is lost, an unexpected medical bill shows up, or an opportunity passes us by simply because we weren't financially ready. And in those moments, the stress is overwhelming. But what if we flip the script? What if we started saving not out of panic, but out of purpose? That's the heart of true financial preparation, not waiting until we need money, but building the habit before we're in a position where we're desperate for it. Saving before you need it isn't just a financial strategy, it's a mindset. It's about recognizing that uncertainty is not a matter of if, but when. Life is unpredictable. Even with the best plans, things change. And those who are prepared don't just survive unexpected moments, they navigate them with strength because they built the safety net before the fall. The real value of saving isn't in the dollars themselves, it's in what those dollars represent: peace of mind, breathing room, the ability to make decisions from a place of confidence instead of fear. It's being able to say yes to an opportunity that aligns with your values or no to a situation that compromises them. Saving gives you space. It gives you time. And in many ways, it gives you the power to live on your terms. Most people wait until they have extra money to start saving, but the truth is there's rarely a moment when it feels like you have extra. Life fills the space. Expenses grow. Temptations multiply. So saving has to be intentional. It has to be prioritized, not postponed. Even if it starts small, even if it's just a few dollars a week, the habit matters more than the amount, because it's the habit that builds momentum, and momentum over time builds security. Some people assume saving is only for the rich, but that's backwards. It's the habit of saving that leads to wealth, not the other way around. It's the person who consistently sets money aside, no matter how little, who builds the muscle that wealth requires: discipline, delayed gratification, strategic thinking. These are the foundations of financial independence, and they don't come from a sudden windfall, they come from daily choices. And let's be clear, saving isn't just about emergencies. Yes, an emergency fund is essential, but preparation goes further than that. It's about building options. The option to leave a toxic job. The option to invest in your education. The option to take time off and care for a loved one. Saving isn't just a safety net, it's a launch pad. It opens doors that would otherwise stay shut. It creates a life that feels spacious, not squeezed. We've all heard the phrase, live below your means. But preparation means more than just cutting expenses. It means living beneath your moment so you can rise into your future. It means sacrificing a little today so you can gain a lot tomorrow. That's not restriction. That's empowerment. That's planning for a life on your terms, not one dictated by stress, debt, or dependency. In the end, preparation through saving is one of the most generous things you can do, not just for yourself, but for the people who rely on you. It allows you to be strong when others can't be. It lets you show up fully without being distracted by financial chaos. It puts you in a position to give, to lead, to choose. So don't wait for a crisis to build your cushion. Build it now when it feels small, when it feels early, because the moment you need it, it's already too late. Preparation isn't about fear, it's about freedom. And saving is how you buy that freedom, one decision at a time. One of the biggest financial mistakes people make isn't overspending, it's investing in things they don't truly understand. In a world full of hype, buzzwords, and overnight success stories, it's easy to feel like you're missing out if you're not jumping on the latest trend. Whether it's a hot stock, a new cryptocurrency, or a complex real estate deal, the pressure to get in now is everywhere. But investing without understanding is not investing, it's gambling. And unlike gambling, the losses don't just cost money, they can cost confidence, time, and momentum. The temptation is real. When everyone around you seems to be making money from something you barely understand, it's hard to sit still. FOMO kicks in. You tell yourself, if they can do it, I should too. But that thinking is dangerous, because you're not investing from a place of clarity, you're acting from a place of comparison. And money built on comparison doesn't last. True investing starts with curiosity, not urgency. Before you put a single dollar into anything, the first question should always be, do I understand what I'm buying? Not just what it's called, not just what the return could be, but how it works, why it creates value, what the risks are, how it fits into your overall plan. If you can't explain it in simple terms, you don't own the idea, you're just borrowing someone else's excitement, and borrowed. Excitement turns into regret the moment the market turns. Understanding your investment doesn't mean you have to be an expert. You don't need a finance degree to be a smart investor, but you do need clarity. That means doing your homework, asking questions, taking your time, saying no when something feels too complex, too rushed, or too good to be true. Because when you understand what you're investing in, you can stay calm when things fluctuate. You're not reacting emotionally, you're responding strategically. There's also power in knowing what not to invest in. Just because something is popular doesn't mean it's right for you. Just because someone made money doing it doesn't mean you will. Your financial journey is unique. Your goals, risk tolerance, time horizon, none of that can be copied from someone else. Investing in what you understand is about owning your strategy, not following someone else's. And understanding doesn't stop once you've made the investment. It continues. Keep learning. Monitor your progress. Adjust as your knowledge and goals evolve. Smart investors are lifelong students. They stay curious. They ask better questions over time. They don't just chase returns, they seek wisdom. Investing with understanding also builds confidence. You no longer feel like you're guessing or hoping. You start to trust yourself with money. That self-trust is powerful. It allows you to be patient, to stick with your plan when others are panicking, to make decisions that align with your long-term vision instead of short-term emotions. Sometimes the best investment decision is to wait, to pause, to say, I'm not ready yet. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. You're not falling behind. You're building a foundation. And foundations take time. But once they're set, you can grow with stability and purpose. In the end, investing in what you understand is about respect. Respect for your time, your money, your future. It's about choosing clarity over chaos, depth over trend chasing, and wisdom over hype. Because wealth isn't built in moments of excitement, it's built in seasons of understanding. And the more you understand, the more confidently you can build a life and a portfolio that truly works for you. When most people think about building wealth, their minds immediately go to money, how to make more of it, save more of it, or invest it better. But what's often overlooked is the asset that comes before all of that, the one that drives every good financial decision and every breakthrough in life: knowledge. Money may be the tool, but knowledge is the blueprint. Without the right mindset, information, and understanding, even large amounts of money can disappear quickly. But with knowledge, even small resources can be multiplied. Knowledge is the one asset that can't be stolen, taxed, or lost in a market crash. It grows as you grow. The more you invest in it, the more valuable it becomes. And unlike other assets, knowledge pays dividends in every area of life, not just in your bank account. It changes how you think, how you act, and how you respond to challenges. It gives you the ability to see opportunity where others see risk and to remain steady when others panic. Many people wait for wealth before they start learning about money. They believe financial education is for later when they earn more, have more, or are forced to deal with it. But the truth is, learning comes first. It always has. It's not a reward for success. It's the foundation for it. The more you understand how money works, how to manage it, invest it, protect it, the more control you gain over your future. You stop guessing, and you start deciding. The greatest investors, leaders, and entrepreneurs in the world are not the ones who had the most luck or started with the most money. They are the ones who never stopped learning. They read, they ask questions, they seek out mentors. They reflect on their experiences and use failure as a teacher. They're not afraid to admit what they don't know because they understand that knowledge is not about ego, it's about growth. You don't need to know everything to begin. You just need to start asking better questions. What do I want to learn about money? Where are my blind spots? Who can I learn from? Today, knowledge is more accessible than ever. Books, podcasts, videos, courses, conversations. The information is there. The real question is whether we're willing to prioritize it over entertainment, distraction, or temporary comfort. What's powerful about knowledge is that it compounds just like interest. The more you learn, the more connections you make. One book leads to another. One insight opens the door to new possibilities. And eventually, what once felt overwhelming becomes second nature. You no longer feel behind or confused. You start to feel capable, clear, focused. Knowledge also protects you. It keeps you from falling for scams, bad advice, or emotional decisions. It gives you the tools to question what doesn't make sense and the confidence to walk away when something isn't aligned with your goals. It allows you to take calculated risks rather than reckless ones. Most importantly, knowledge is empowering. It shifts your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who's bad with money or not good at numbers, and you start seeing yourself as someone who's capable of mastering it. That shift in identity changes everything: your choices, your behaviors, and ultimately your results. In the end, your earning potential will always rise and fall to the level of what you know. So, if you want to grow your wealth, grow your mind first. Learn relentlessly. Be a student of money, of business, of life. Because money may come and go, but knowledge stays. And with it, you'll never be powerless. Real wealth doesn't come from chasing money, it comes from creating value. That's a truth too many people overlook in the pursuit of income. We're taught to ask, how can I earn more? But the better question is, how can I offer more? Because money in its purest form is an exchange. It flows to those who solve problems, meet needs, and make life better for others. When you focus on value first, money follows. Always. The mistake most people make is believing wealth is about luck, inheritance, or being in the right place at the right time. But real, lasting wealth is built, not stumbled into. It's created through service, innovation, and consistency. When you show up in the world, asking, what can I give, instead of what can I get, everything changes. You begin to think differently, act differently, and position yourself to grow. Value isn't just about products or services, it's about impact. Whether you're an employee, an entrepreneur, a freelancer, or even a student, your ability to create value determines your opportunities. Where do you solve problems that matter? Do you bring clarity where there's confusion? Do you make things easier, faster, or more meaningful for the people around you? If the answer is yes, then you're already building wealth, because the result of relevance, usefulness, and contribution over time. Think about the people and companies that are truly successful. They didn't get there by accident. They found a way to be valuable. They listened to what people needed. They refined their skills. They did the work. And over time, they earned trust, loyalty, and compensation, not because they asked for it, but because they earned it through consistent value creation. This mindset is especially powerful because it puts the power back in your hands. You don't have to wait for permission. You don't need to be born into the right family or attend the right school. You simply need to focus on becoming better at what you do and more useful to the people you serve. That could mean mastering a skill, understanding your customers more deeply, solving a problem others ignore, or doing the ordinary things with extraordinary care. Creating value is also sustainable. Trends come and go. Markets rise and fall, but when your reputation is built on value, you're out of demand. People want to work with you, buy from you, refer you because they trust that you bring something meaningful to the table. That kind of wealth is resilient. It's not easily shaken because it's built on substance, not flash. There's also something deeply fulfilling about value creation. When you contribute to someone else's success, ease their burden, or inspire their growth, you don't just make money, you make meaning. And that meaning fuels your own sense of purpose. It makes the long hours and hard work worth it. You're not just working for a paycheck, you're working for impact. So instead of chasing shortcuts, start sharpening your edge. Ask yourself, what problem am I solving? Who is better off because of what I do? How can I increase the quality of my work, the depth of my relationships, or the usefulness of my ideas? These questions unlock something powerful. They help you shift from scarcity thinking to abundance creation. In the end, value is the currency that lasts. It doesn't wear out, run out, or get inflated away. And when you lead with value, you never have to beg for opportunity, it finds you. Because those who create value don't just attract wealth. They become the source of IT.I in a world that constantly pushes us to want more, do more, and move faster. It's easy to lose sight of why we started in the first place. We get caught up in the grind, the goals, the numbers, and the noise. But real sustainable success, especially financial success, comes when we stay grounded in our why. That core reason behind our efforts is what gives meaning to our money, direction to our decisions, and resilience to our journey. Your why is not a slogan or a vague idea. It's the deep-rooted purpose that fuels your actions. It's what keeps you centered when life gets chaotic. When you know your why, you don't just work hard, you work smart. You don't chase trends, you follow your own compass. And that makes all the difference. Money without purpose is just numbers. You can have a growing bank account and still feel empty. But you can reach your income goals and still be unsure of what it's all for. That's why grounding yourself in your why is non-negotiable. It creates alignment. It helps you filter opportunities, set boundaries, and say no to things that might be profitable, but pull you away from what matters most. Knowing your why turns money from a goal into a tool. Instead of asking, how can I make more? You begin to ask, what do I want this money to do for me, my family, and the world? That shift changes everything. It brings clarity. It reduces the urge to compare your journey to others. And it makes the inevitable challenges easier to navigate because your efforts are tied to something deeper than external validator. When your financial decisions are rooted in your why, they become intentional. You stop spending to impress. You stop investing out of fear or greed. You start building habits and systems that reflect your values. Whether it's saving for a future dream, supporting a cause you care about, or creating freedom and flexibility in your life, your money starts to work for your purpose, not against it. Your why also keeps you going when things get hard. Because the truth is, there will be setbacks. Plans won't always go perfectly, but a clear sense of purpose acts like an anchor. It keeps you steady when the waters get rough. You're not thrown off course by temporary failure because your vision stretches beyond the moment. You're not motivated only by results, but by meaning. And meaning always outlasts momentum. Too many people chase success without understanding what success actually looks like for them. They follow someone else's blueprint only to realize it doesn't fit their life. That's why your why has to come first. When you define success on your own terms, when it's connected to your values, your priorities, and your vision, and the money, the work, the goals all become part of something much bigger. Staying grounded in your why doesn't mean you move slowly or play small. It means you move with focus. It means you stop reacting to everything around you and start responding from within. Your decisions become clearer, your actions more consistent, and your outcomes more fulfilling. So take time to define it, revisit it often. Let your why shape your goals, your habits, and your relationships. Because when you know why you're doing what you're doing, you bring power and peace to your journey. And no matter how much money you make, it's that sense of purpose that makes you truly wealthy.